Twitter. Garbage. I hate it. I hate the platform. I hate the people on it. They're really obnoxious. That's not limited to people who play DBD and use Twitter. Today, we're going to be talking about a specific user that I'm not very fond of. We're going to be talking about virtue signaling, manipulation, righteousness, and abuse of power. But before we can get into all that, we have to talk about who the person is. So I've stumbled across this Twitter user earlier this year. She is a male to female trans person who identifies as Jane Romero. She used this identity for a while until a new killer came out named Skull Merchant, which she, I guess, felt very drawn to. So now she is Skull Merchant. On top of that, she P100 Skull Merchant the first month of her release, so I guess she really felt a pretty good connection with the killer. Jane is an interesting person. She posts a lot on Twitter. She has a lot of free time. She deleted a lot of her posts, although I do remember her posting something about she thinks it's weird when people post nudes of Jane Romero because she feels like people are posting nudes of her. Like, what the hell? But whatever, we're not really here for that. That was just a little side note. Jane took part in this Twitter thing called Hattie Day, where they were trying to bring awareness to Hattie, and they felt like she didn't really have a lot of skins, and I guess they weren't happy with that, so they wanted to bring attention to the devs. They wanted to do a thing called Hattie Day, where everybody played as Hattie. I don't know why they focus on Hattie specifically. I think it's very telling. If people don't really want to play a character, you can't really force people to want to make changes for that character. The devs see, okay, no one's really... It's like, think about it with Jeff, right? Like, no one plays Jeff. They barely give Jeff any skins. A lot of people play Fang. That's why Fang gets a lot of skins. Even in a market sense, like, it makes sense to give characters who are the most played the most stuff. That's kind of just how it is. You're not going to give Jeff a million skins if no one's playing Jeff. And that rule also applies to Hattie. Now, it's either a coincidence or it was specifically because of Hattie Day, but they decided to add more cosmetics for certain characters, including Hattie. And this was her reaction.
An answer to what we did until now. And like... I'm happy it's bringing changes and it's working and that they're seeing it. It has been so fucking stressful during the last weeks because, like, I felt like whatever I was doing was pointless.
Alright, now look. I love Nancy, alright? I do. She's my main, my everything. If they brought her back talking about we're going to bring her back and we're going to give her more skins, I'd be happy as shit. But when I saw her crying over that, it kind of made me think of two things. Either one, those tears are legit and she's actually crying over more Hattie skins coming to the game. Or two, she's purposefully crying so that she's hoping that the devs will see that she's crying, or at the very least she's hoping that people will see her reaction to her crying, her little performance, so people can see, oh my gosh, she really appreciates these changes. Either way, whichever option you go, I think it's just weird, but whatever. I'm not making this video because I think she's weird. Anyways, after some time has passed, a YouTuber by the name of Hens, which, by the way, super chill guy, really cool, very informative. He plays Survivor and Killer, really, really chill guy. Not about drama. Alright, no more glazing, I promise. They got into a match, Jane Romero and Hens, and this is what happened.
And you both go. I'll throw an 80 ping. Use 3 hits, not a single one fair. Well, you should call the policeman. At least I show my name, hence 333. So you are VPNing. How cringe are you, Ada? Yes. Can you answer my question now? Bro, you ask so many questions. You never answer mine. Don't be transphobic. Cancel me on Twitter, bro. Do it. At DBD.
Anyways, after their interaction, Jane went to Twitter to try to actually cancel Hens. And of course, Hens was really upset because, for one, he was in anonymous mode, and two, there's such a disconnect because if you spent enough time on the internet, you will see people say bro all the time. It's not necessarily like a gender thing. It really is just like, it's just part of internet lingo. Whatever. But anyways, they made up their differences. Unfortunately, Hens got some pushback for this, but I think it's more interesting the kind of responses that Hens got for the pushback, especially comments like this. And that's fine. You made a mistake. Humans make mistakes. Like, God, it's just like, oh man, it's just so annoying. It's like so obnoxious. It's so condescending. I hate Twitter. I absolutely hate Twitter. Fortunately, they were able to make up. But ever since that encounter, like, none of that really sat well with me. I thought that was completely out of proportion. Like, there was no need to react like that. And if it was just a one-time thing on her end to do something like that, then whatever, fine. But it gets worse. Anyway, some time has passed and some Twitter user by the name of Moral Distress was hosting a tournament. There were a couple people who took part in that tournament, and the creator of the tournament went around trying to find out, okay, who are we going to ban? What are we going to keep? What add-ons shouldn't we keep? What killers should we not put? And Jane wanted to take part in that tournament. They've decided to not so much not let her be in it, but you just can't play Skull Merchant. And I guess she took that personally and started insinuating that because they didn't want to allow Skull Merchant to be in the tournament, that somehow this tournament was transphobic. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know, man. I think the wild thing about all of this is that the creator of that tournament is literally gay, and the money raised for the tournament went into some sort of trans association. So I don't understand, and I think this tweet is very telling of the kind of person that Jane is. Basically, it kind of reads as like, no, that's cool, like you're supporting the same cause that I support, but what about me? What about me? This tweet too, especially, like that comment, where are you every day? Like, it just seems so ungrateful, and you just like, you're attacking the wrong people, man. These people literally support the same ideology that you support. Why are you attacking them? Jane eventually apologizes, but I think, and I'm totally speculating here, but I think she did that because she knows it looks bad. Like, you can't call a tournament held by a person who is putting the funds into a trans association transphobic because they don't want you to play Skull Merchant. Like, what the fuck even is that sentence? So this is where most people kind of have their final straw with Jane. She was making the comparison that Skull Merchant and Plague were very similar in terms of their playstyle. This person said all of this, and at the end, he said, what a crazy thing to say. Now, that crazy comment really pissed off Jane, so she basically went off on him. Fortunately, people in the comments weren't stupid, and they called her out immediately. Now, this tweet, honestly, this back and forth is basically what she starts doing from now on. They said, what a crazy thing to say. They didn't call you crazy. Stop being intellectually dishonest. It won't work on me. You're being lazy and avoiding accountability. Now she ends up saying this, which, like, what does this have to do with anything? I think you're fine at it because trans equals mental illness for you? What? Anyways, Jane starts doing the most impressive mental gymnastics I've ever seen in my life. He wasn't calling you crazy though, he just said it was a crazy thing to compare. No, he called my opinions crazy and by association me. Crazy people say crazy things. I felt offended by it and I want my feelings recognized as legit and them asking sorry for the poor choice of words. Without that last line, I would respect them, but the last line made it horrible and I feel offended by it, and asking me sorry is free and costs nothing. By the way, anyone who says it costs $0 or it's free to be nice or anything similar to that, run. Now, a lot of stuff got deleted, so I wasn't able to get all of it, but she did start to retweet certain people that were on her side or attacking the other person for using the word crazy. Like, here's someone who's completely ignoring all the mental gymnastics and manipulation she's doing just to say this. Whether you agree or disagree with Jane Romero, she has a right to ask that certain words not be used to describe her or towards her. And then she's like, thank you so much for these words. Seeing my efforts for the trans community still being seen and appreciated, especially when being really direct about its issues, gave me a bit more light to see in this world. It's like, bro, what? Like, you're acting like he called you a trans slur. He just said something that you said was crazy. Like, what are you doing? One of the bigger streamers known as Vopixia got involved as well. These tweets unfortunately were deleted. I do remember seeing them, but they're no longer here, but there were screenshots that were saved. Well, Pixie was asking Jane to maybe take it into DMs, like, oh, like, I don't think he called you crazy. Like, basically what everyone else was saying, like, hey, I'm pretty sure the person just meant that what you were saying was crazy, not that you're crazy. So she was trying to defend the guy, and then she says, I wonder how Volpixia found her energy to say something here, but did nothing when I had to deal with transphobia. So you're going to notice this a lot with her. Anytime she's cornered, or if you put her in a spot where she's uncomfortable, she doesn't know what to respond with because she knows she's wrong, she'll just cry transphobia, even when nothing transphobic is happening right now. Anyways, a Twitter user by the name of It's Milk Dud tried reaching out to Jane to have a talk about this, privately in the DMs, trying to calm her down, and this was their conversation. Now, Milk Dud's response was very reasonable, basically repeating what a lot of other people were saying in the nicest way possible, and even confirming that there were certain things that she were retweeting over and over and over about the other person being attacked, which her response is pretty wild. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to accept gatekeeping on my feelings after that I felt attacked about my mental health with the word proved as ableist. My main dramas were denounces of the ways how trans people have been treated, with proofs over proofs of the transphobia I had to personally take care of, and with many trans people reporting in the comments their situation as well. I didn't attack anyone. I defended myself over having someone say I had no rights to act defensively after such a rude attack that had ableist implications in it. I would appreciate you not dictating my feelings and trying to be more empathetic with someone who already had to deal with so much harassment. You don't know what I live. I don't ask you to understand it, but to respect it. Because of this, I would appreciate you not interacting with me anymore, as I have no interest at interacting with the toxicity of Twitter, where anti-trans feelings went rampant after Elon took the platform, and DBD Twitter in particular, a toxic platform fed by drama and fights over pointless stuff, careless of other people's feelings. Have a good life. And as a suggestion for life, as a cis person, don't speak over trans voices over what they should or shouldn't do. It doesn't make you a good ally. Hey, you should really take it easy. That person probably didn't mean to call you crazy. No, you don't get it. I have to deal with ableism. That's an ableist thing to say. And not only that, just the transphobia I have to deal with on a daily is just unbelievable. I have to deal with this shit every single day. And ever since Elon Musk took the platform, it's been getting worse and worse. And as a cis person, you shouldn't tell me how. It's bro, what the hell is wrong with you? And the irony of her saying that, oh, all these fights happen over pointless stuff, it's like the projection's insane. So after that happened, Jane went live on Twitch with the screenshots of the conversation that they had and started talking Milk Dud.
To a clown like this, unfollow them, because they are disgusting. They just look for drama to try to push their channel. They are a horrible person who tried to attack me and harass me in the past. I have to be the one understanding your feelings. It doesn't matter. Like, oh no, you call me something I consider a slur. Like, I have to be understandable of that. You have been mean with me. White cheese people dealing with no problems in my life. Oh no. When you live a perfect life, full of joy, and like your main problem is if you escape a trial of DBD or not. But they were helpful. They were trying to be helpful. The hypocrite piece of shit. And you are feeding this kind of people who have literally no interest in making this community a better place, but just feeding their ego because they are not able to create a positive content, and they are not able to promote anything positive in this community. This is what you are. You are all accomplices for these people.
Anyways, after this incident, Jane decided to delete her Twitter. In conclusion, I don't think Jane should come back. I'm not gonna pretend to be like, oh, like, I want you to better yourself. I don't care if you better yourself. I think you just need to stay away from Twitter. I think you've been on this platform too long. I think you have way too much free time, which is evident by the fact that you P100 Skull Merchant within the first month of her coming out. Like, if I didn't have a 9 to 5, I probably could do that too. Like, honestly, look, if you get the help, great, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like, oh, like, I just want you to get help. I don't care. If you do, great. If you don't, whatever. But you probably shouldn't come back. I mean, you're gonna come back. You live online. You are a good example of what is wrong with people who spend too much time and have an unhealthy relationship with online. And with that being said, I'd like to leave this off with a tweet I saw recently. I really hate that fake positive wannabe soft girl bullshit. Girl, your ass is evil, mean as fuck, and miserable in real life. Y'all do not be good people or people with good hearts for real behind these apps. Stop that.